welcome back. And this is going to be the first lesson for this week in Remedial Math. We're going to be doing Lesson 9, Multiplying and Dividing Decimals. You'll need the Lesson 9 worksheet with you as you go through this. Alright, last week we did adding and subtracting decimals, which is super easy. All you had to do was line them up, line up the decimal, and then add and subtract as usual. Multiplication and division are a little bit more difficult, but not too bad. You guys can do this. So the first problem we have at number 1 is 0.6 times 0.11. What that would actually write out is 6/10 times 11 hundredths is how you would read that. Okay? So you can solve this one of two ways. You can set it up like this, but then you would need a placeholder 0 here to make up for that place you're missing, or because of the commutative property of addition, which means we can write these like this without changing the problem. The answer will not change, and then you set it up this way. You would still need the placeholder 0 down on the bottom. Okay? Or actually, you wouldn't need the placeholder because you could set it up like that. And that's fine. For multiplication, you do not have to line up the decimals to solve the problem. Okay? You do not have to line them up. Since I already have this written, I'm going to go ahead and solve it the second way right here. Okay? 1 times 6 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 0 is 0. Okay, put our placeholder. Move on to the next one. 0, 0, 0. Then we have 6, 6, 0, 0. Now what you do for multiplication is you count the numbers behind the decimals. There are 3 numbers behind the decimal in your factors. There should be 3 numbers to the right of the decimal. That's what I mean behind, to the right of the decimal in your product. So the answer is 0.066. All right, let's go ahead and do another example. Let's go ahead and do number 2. You have 8 times 2.8. Okay, again, you can set this up with 8 times 2.8 here on the bottom, and you'll need a 0 as a placeholder. Or you could use a commutative property, and you could switch the way the problem is written. I'm going to go ahead and do it the first way this time instead of the second, since I did that last time. So I'm going to do 8 times 2.8 and put 0.0. Okay, remember I said in one of your addition or subtraction videos that there is a decimal to the right of every whole number. Okay, and then adding 0 to the right of something does not change its value. It's a placeholder. So let me actually put this in a different color so you can see it's a placeholder. Okay. All right, and let's go ahead and solve. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 8 is 64. Placeholder 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. Then you'll add 0, 4, 12, 2. Now, you count the numbers to the right of the decimal. There are 2. So there should be 2 to the right of the decimal in your product. So your answer is 22 and 40 hundredths. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let you do the rest of your problems. There is a typo on your worksheet. Number 5 is written incorrectly. It has an equal sign there instead of the multiplication sign. So number 5 should be 2.6 times 0.05, or 2 6/10 times 5 hundredths. Okay, so this is to fix the typo on number 5. All right, let's go ahead and look at how to divide. We'll do a couple of examples, and then I'll set you free to do your worksheet. Let's go ahead, and we're going to start with number 11. All right, so number 11 is 8.2 divided by 2, or 8 2/10 divided by 2. So you can do inside, outside, and we'll go over here to our house. 8 2/10 divided by 2. The first thing you want to do is the first step that you do with addition and subtraction, and you want to put your decimal. Okay? You line it up. And now you'll divide as normal. Okay, so you have 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Bring down your 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 0. So your answer is 4 1/10, or 4.1. Okay. There is your final answer. All right, let's look at number 12. Number 12 is a little bit different because you're going to have a decimal in your divisor instead of just your dividend. The divisor is the number outside the house. So here we have 6 8/10 divided by 2/10. Now, there is a step here that we're going to do before we line up our decimal because of this, because of the decimal here. We're not going to divide by a decimal number. So what you're going to do is you're going to move it until you make it a whole number. What that means is that you put it to the right of your number until there are no more numbers behind it. So here we move it one place. And we move it one place and now it becomes 2. Whatever you do to your divisor, you have to do to your dividend. So we moved 1 decimal place here. We're going to move 1 decimal place here. So now your decimal is to the right of both of those numbers. Your problem is going to be rewritten as 68 divided by 2. Okay, and your imaginary decimals here, just to show you, are to the right of each of those numbers. You can go ahead and line up your decimal if you would like. And now we're going to divide as normal. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Bring down your 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. You have no remainders. 6 8/10 divided by 2/10 gives you 34. Now, you'll notice that your answer is bigger than either one of the numbers you started with. That's because you're dividing the pieces into something less than 1. So there's going to be more than you started with. You're dividing each piece into small pieces. Okay? It would be like taking one piece of pizza and dividing that one piece of pizza into 4 more pieces. Each pizza has 8 pieces. You divided those 8 pieces into 4, so you now have 32 pieces. Okay? If that confused you, that's okay. I was just trying to explain why your answer was a whole number. Was bigger than either one of your other numbers. Okay, let's do another example here. Let's look at number 14. Number 14 has 244 thousandths divided by 7. Okay, inside, outside. So you will have the 244 thousandths inside. The 7 will be on the outside. You will line up your decimals. Okay, and then we'll divide. 7 does not go into 0. Bring down the 2. 7 does not go into 2. 7 goes into 24 3 times. Okay. And there are 4. Sorry about that. We ran out of space. So I'm gonna do this on the next page. Give me just a second. Okay, here's where we stopped. So we have 3. We're gonna bring down the 4. 4 times 7 gives you 28. Okay, and then you have 6. Now the interesting thing here is that you're gonna either keep going until you get to 0 or until I give you a certain number to stop at. Okay. We're going to stop at 4 places after the decimal because I want to show you something. Okay, so you see here we have 6. We're going to put a placeholder 0 and bring it down. Okay, and then we'll do 8 times 7 gives you 56. And you have 4 down here at the bottom. Sorry, I know it's kind of hard to see. I'll bring it over here. It's a 4. What you would then do is you would keep adding zeros. But we're going to go ahead and stop because this number keeps going. At 4 places after the decimal, so your answer would be 348 10,000ths. 0.0348. We'll do one more division, and then I'm going to set you free to do this on your own. Go ahead and complete the entire worksheet. Okay, let's look at number 15. Number 15 says 93 and 499 thousandths divided by 37. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and erase this and just set it up inside the house and try to keep it all on one page as much as possible. All right. Now this is going to take a little bit of guesswork here. We know that 3 can go into 9 3 times, but that's exact. So we're going to go over if we try to multiply this by 3. So let's try 2. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Then you'll subtract. 19 is less than 37. Oh, I forgot to line up our decimals. Sorry about that. All right, keep going. Bring down the 4. 3 can go into 19 6 times without going over, but 6 times 7 is 42, so that's going to be too high. Let's try 5. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 3 is 18. 14 minus 5 is 9. 0, 0. Bring down the 9. Okay. Let's try 2 again. Okay. And then let's try sorry, 7. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 4 is 25. No remainder. Your answer is 2 and 527 thousandths. Okay. Alright, so that's going to be all for our video. If you ever get to a number like this last one here, where it doesn't seem to end, you can go ahead and stop at 4 digits. Okay, but if you realize that you can get it to 0, go ahead and keep going. Where you, like over here, we got it to 0, but it only took 3. Okay, so if you keep going past 4, stop. Okay, I don't want you to work that long. All right. So that's how you multiply and divide decimals. Remember with division, when you have a decimal in your divisor, you want to move the decimal to the right side, and you want to do the same thing. You move it the same number of spaces. 1 here, 1 here. Okay. You can send me an email or Skype me if you have any questions. Good luck on your worksheet.